Why, thank you, Greg. Thank you, Gavin. That was a really good discussion on ads and programmatic. Now, since no one has slipped me a 20, we're going to go back to songs. And the song I want to talk about today is Kokomo by the Beach Boys, because it's all about locations and destinations like Aruba and Jamaica. And I'm going to send it over to Nick from InVidi, who's going to talk about addressable TV and interoperative marketplaces for traditional linear and OTT.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hey, thank you, Shad. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Distinguished participants, and thank you for being with us on this topic, addressable TV. Interoperative marketplace for traditional linear TV and OTT. It's unfortunate that most of you are not able to visit us in Singapore, but we are hopeful that this pandemic will ease come 2021. Hope you and your family are all keeping well. Now, as a quick flash on InVidi's accolade, InVidi started way back in year 2000. We hold 30 over patents, and through these patents, we helped our clients and industry tremendously on the addressable TV perspective. Following that, in early 2017, we were awarded this beautiful Emmy Award for advertising technology excellence. In terms of formation, we are founded since the year 2000. HQ in Princeton, US. Due to the success with our clients and achievements with many firsts, in early 2017, we were acquired by AT&T, Dish, and WPP. With this acquisition, InVidi is positioned powerfully with owners who are leaders in their own respective industry. Such as, they are renowned for their being content owners, telecommunication, satellite entertainment providers, and also advertising, a huge advertising agency. Now, where do we see it in the heart of things? Well, in our perspective, in the heart of any business is our customers. We are happy to showcase some key folks in the industry like AT&T, Dish, MultiChoice, to name a few. In the brand's perspective, we just, it's just uncountable for those who have actually flowed through our system. Some of the common names are like Disney, BMW, LG. In terms of household, deployed US households, we have over 50 million households today. Now, a quick look at our industry. Let's have a reality check in terms of ADEX. Most of you will already know this. The linear TV is experiencing a slight decline over the years. Overall, flat but holding ground with a negative 0.31% CAGR. While on the online video, it is gaining impressive growth of over 15.29% CAGR. Now, however, mind you, linear television is still a big, huge business relatively to the online video business. If you look at the 2021 forecast, it's hitting 180 billion versus 60 billion on a global basis. Now, there are a few key questions that I deploy you to retain here. Is number one, how do we defend the linear TV decline? And second, how do we take advantage of the linear video growth? Some proven results. Through the deployment of addressable TV, InVidi clients are hitting multiple X's, some at a range between 3x to 7x, on their linear TV revenue with addressable TV. Particularly, a major US customer of ours is hitting 800% over 4 years on their linear TV business using addressable TV. By end of 2021, in fact, their annual revenue is hitting close to US $2 billion. Now, we do recommend that our clients take the approach of crawl, walk, and then run. If you can fly eventually, why not? Now, globally, the most advanced operator that's working on addressable TV is probably on the walk phase right now. Now, if I could go through quickly some of the things that we started off in 2015 with this particular client is predominantly on low-value direct response ads. But today, 50% of the advertisers employed a zone-based sales strategy cutting across some of the car dealership, big box retail stores, financial services. The remainder are large national brand advertiser targeting efficiency through aggregation. Now, going back to the questions that I presented just now, how to defend the linear TV decline and how to take advantage of the online video growth. Now, in the case of InVidi, we are solving both of these questions with addressable TV technology, simplifying it with the one platform that would eventually translate to a one metric and one team approach. Quickly, before going into next segment, I'd like to quickly take you through how this all works. Now, the most critical part, if you look on the left-hand side of the slide, you will generally see the key important data sets, one being the household or the subscriber data sets, followed by the inventory or the program data sets, and of course the order information. This is actually generated to the ad decision engine of InVidi. It could be in the cloud or in-premise in that sense. Then once we make that right decision on which platform to serve, it cuts across to all the multiple devices that's available to us today. Once that's been served, it goes back to the InVidi cloud, either through third-party verification or straight on to the InVidi ad decision engine. And then it comes out as an enhanced reporting capability. And from that itself, you build on your analytics, insights, and further targeting capabilities. Now, in the next segment, we will talk more on the insights of the past, present, and project it to the future. Now, let me begin by introducing you to my Senior Vice President of Corporate Development. He has many, many years of experience in the field of media with focus on cross-screen monetization. Please welcome Prashad.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Hey, Prashad. Welcome to the show.
Okay. Yes.
I guess you're hearing us good, yeah?
Yes. Staying safe, no travels.
Fantastic. Now, it's too bad that you can't be with us today, yeah? But I hope this will not be the new norm of fireside chat in the future.
Hopefully not.
Okay, great. Let's get going. Now, let's reflect something in the past. I remember a time 8 years back. There was this chant that TV advertising is dead with migration of digital advertising. Fast forwarded today, it does not seem to be the case. Yes, there's a negative CAGR of 0.31% over 5 years since 2017. Yeah. However, there is still a substantial spending on TV, 180 billion in 2021, and TV advertising is innovating definitely. What are your thoughts, Prashad?
See, Nick, we all know that there is a shift in the viewing habits, right? So with OTT coming in, of course, there is a very gradual erosion of linear TV advertising. In some markets, it's a lot more faster. In some markets, it's happening. But on the same note, as you just mentioned, there are about like 1 billion users on the pay TV platform who cannot be ignored as well. In markets in our region like India, APAC, the pay TV subscriber base is still growing at a very healthy rate, right? And in fact, in India, for example, the linear TV advertising is growing at an annual rate of about 10%, right? So what TV advertising offers is for the marketers is a reach. Lots of users can be reached in one go, right? and also the impact, right? The sight, the sound, the emotion that comes along with it, and also the sociability part of it. So these are the good ones, the generating word of mouth, right? So these are the good things about TV advertising. But what the digital advertising or the digital platforms bring for you is a data-driven targeting, right? The ability to track results, the ability to optimize campaigns. But with that said, right, TV advertising is slowly reinventing itself by bringing in these facets of digital advertising through addressable TV, something that you alluded earlier in your presentation. Addressable TV is basically the ability to reach to a given audience at a given time at a scale on linear platforms. With addressable TV, the linear advertising will provide the kind of the same data-driven targeting with the similar flight constraints for a marketer's campaign as you see in digital, right? Even in what we have seen is even in the markets where cord cutting is accelerating, the addressable TV market pie is substantially growing. Yes, you're right that there is an erosion in TV advertising, but I think the TV advertising is morphing itself as well as we go forward.
Wonderful. Yeah, on the growth topic, yeah, I've had the opportunity to have numerous chats with addressable TV market leaders such as Dish, Verizon, and they have actually mentioned that addressable TV is their revenue growth engine. How has the addressable TV market grown in the past decade, and how has NVIDIA helped with the addressable TV technology?
That's a good question, right? So, as you know, over the past 2 decades, NVIDIA has pioneered, it has developed, and it also has deployed the addressable TV technology for a lot of linear MVPD clients with various or multiple strategies, right? This could range from geo or zone targeting, essentially saying if you're in a certain geographic region, I target the audience to a particular region, or what we call a spot optimization, right? Given an advertising spot, how do we optimize it across multiple advertisers for the same spot? Or for a single advertiser, how do we actually optimize the spot? Or audience aggregation, something that you just mentioned a little earlier, right? One of the big hurdles the TV is facing right now is the audience reached that is achieved for any one program diminished greatly over the years. So the traditional tying of an ad to a program is becoming suboptimal, right? Which is the traditional model. What NVIDIA's addressable technology has been able to respond to this change in the behavior is through audience aggregation. So by aggregating the target audience on any network for that matter, watching any commercial break, the addressable TV solution has now re-aggregated the lost reach for the television. So if I were to quote, we can even run a Super Bowl-sized audience every night through audience aggregation. The idea here is, again, by audience and not by programs. The approach on serving the right ad to the right audience, also at the right time, could be done by storing creatives on the set-top boxes, if the set-top boxes have memory, or switching ad channels for content channels, or even unicasting the ad streams. Again, this all depends upon the infrastructure that our clients or prospects have, right? And as you mentioned earlier, some of our customers have grown their businesses over like 800x in the span of 4 to 5 years. And NVIDIA has helped a lot of MVPD customers across the globe to use addressable TV as a growth engine and also to defend the turf of linear advertising. Right? In addition to that, we're also seeing the customers slowly trying to stay away from viewing linear audience and digital audience separately. So while we provide addressable TV platform for linear audience in the same breadth, in the same spectrum, we also provide ad serving, SSP, and programmatic capabilities to OTT video publishers through our Pulse product. In fact, as you know, we provide and manage ad serving for the largest sporting event, the IPL in India. Sometimes the concurrencies reach tens of millions, right? So long story short, while we work with MVPDs on linear TV, we also help their TV everywhere journey through our digital offering.
Yeah, great. Now, looking into our region, yeah, in APAC and India market, the TV viewing is a bit different than the US, European markets.
True.
And particularly, we have a huge prevalence of non-DVR, non-connected boxes. Also, the set-top boxes in the field right now are simple and rudimentary ones, right?
Precisely.
Even our smartphones are much more powerful than the set-top boxes. And how do you see the concept of addressable TV adopting in these markets?
You're quite right. So in markets like US or Europe, where addressable TV has gained considerable roots, I would say, the universe of set-top boxes looks quite different from our region, APAC and India. And as you pointed out, in our region, the set-top boxes are largely non-DVR in nature, not much storage there, and again, largely non-connected too. Now, if we were to bring the same technologies that work in US and Europe as is here, what we are trying to do is we are going to compromise on the universe of serviceable set-top boxes, which then means like you're primarily undercutting the premise of linear TV advertising for a marketer, which is a reach. So you probably want to have technologies or addressable technologies that serve the entire universe of set-top boxes, like a non-DVR and non-connected. And again, on the same note, you cannot take a DVR storage solution and then layer on top of non-DVR set-top boxes, because these set-top boxes are, as you said, really very rudimentary, and you don't want to stress them out with using meager RAM storage and causing serious user experience issues. So looking at this challenge, right, to how do you bring the addressable platform onto emerging markets, NVIDIA developed a channel switching technology specifically meant for non-DVR and non-connected environments. So channel switching technology, simply put, it means like I'm going to use the transponder or network capacity to reduce the load on the set-top boxes. So the decisioning in terms of the address, how you service a addressable avail is now done both at the head end as well as on the set-top box. Further, since we manage all these ad channels in the transponder, the technology also ensures determinism as to like, okay, what kind of ad has played for which kind of user on what network and what time, right? And these are very important factors in terms of measurement for a marketer and form the core of the addressable TV.
Exciting. Now, Prashad, something that we must also cover in the unification part of linear TV and OTT, right? What I mean is in the environment of MVPDs, they practically have two teams, right? Now, on the linear TV and the other, one on the linear TV and the other on online video. And metrics point of view, there are also two, right? One on GRP and the other is on impressions. For MVPDs, having multiple distribution, platforms such as satellite, IPTV, OTT, does unifying audience and measurement not going to be something that is tricky or difficult? Your thoughts?
Yeah, you mentioned about two teams, right? We have seen that at many of our prospects. Again, as I mentioned earlier, that interesting part about NVIDIA and how they address the audience market is we don't see the audience in silos, as like in a linear silo or an IPTV silo or an OTT silo. So our addressable platform manages the linear audience, while our Pulse digital platform serves the digital audience with ad serving, client-side ad insertion, integration with server-side ad technologies, SSP capabilities. So now we have developed a cross-platform management system we call as Edge. So what it does is you can practically put all your inventory, linear and digital, regardless of where it is coming from, as I said, linear, IPTV, OTT, and we'll normalize it. And we allow for campaigns to target audiences across these delivery schemes and set pacing, set flight constraints, all from one single platform, right? In many ways, we have created a kind of interoperative marketplace for all inventories that an operator or distributor holds and manage it from a single view. And while all along doing all this thing, we're also providing a measurement across these delivery schemes. So from a distributor perspective, right, it is an internal marketplace where all their inventories reside at one place, and with a single view, the various teams can run their ad campaigns. So yes, there are, to your earlier point, multiple teams, but now they have a single view of all their inventory through Edge.
Now, okay, and finally, last but not least, investment and risk. With so many moving parts, such as audience data, business decisioning and systems, inventory optimization, and so on, what's the advice to MVPD to move forward, specifically on investment and the risk, the decision-making process?
Right. So in our opinion, right, it's important not to put all the bags into one basket, right, or one silo, if you will. We see some of our prospects have infighting, as you said earlier, between the old and the new, between the linear folks versus the online folks, if you will. Assuming their content strategy is already in place, first off, the MVPDs need to identify which is their biggest revenue footprint. If it's linear side, then they will need to defend it by modernizing their approach by enabling the addressable TV, right? And second, the online streaming is inevitable. So that's going to happen, right? The MVPD will need to have their own OTT strategy in place in case they see their audiences are flowing towards a direction. With that said, MVPDs need to start looking at audience differently than putting them in silos or buckets, if you will. So there is a fluidity in how audience move from one platform to the other. Now, the case in point is like what Netflix just did, right? So they started their own linear channel in France, right? Experimenting with that. So there's a fluidity in terms of audience, how they move from one platform to the other. Realizing this helps to look at audience holistically across multiple media distribution platforms, and then further investing in having these platforms interoperate with one another, right? So that would be some of our learnings that we have gained over the years.
Right, nice. With that, we would like to close this session, and I'll see you soon, Prashad. Yeah, and to all, thank you for being with us, and thank you, Avia, for giving us this opportunity. Wishing you and family all the best, and stay safe. Thank you.
TV ads can now be tailored to the household. It's called addressable advertising, and it enables advertisers to move beyond age and gender proxies and target the exact audience they want to reach. Using identifiers such as income, household composition, and purchase intent, the right commercial reaches the right audience regardless of program, format, time, or device. This reduces wasted impressions while producing measurable and improved ROI. InVidi, the most powerful way to reach your audience no matter what, when, or how they are watching.